seconds, then you're good to go.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Sally Talberg, Chairman of the Michigan Public Service Commission, and I call this meeting of the Commission to order on May 19th, 2020 at 1:30 p.m. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Chairman Talberg.
Present.
Commissioner Scripps.
Present.
Commissioner Phillips.
Present.
Madam Chairman, you have a quorum.
Thank you. We're holding this meeting using Microsoft Live Event. It's part of the Teams package, and it is compatible with all browsers except Safari. And telephone relay service is also available through the phone option. We're calling out participant names before speaking to support those listening only by phone and using relay service. Eventually, I think people will recognize our voices, but for those on the phone, but it just helps those with the relay service as well. As indicated in the notice for today's meeting, if we lose a connection, the commission will be considered in recess, and we'll attempt to reestablish a connection, but if we're unable to do so within 30 minutes, we will adjourn our meeting today. Decisions made prior to the disconnection will be binding, and other business will be handled at a future meeting. We will not recess or adjourn due to technical issues experienced by individual members of the public. The meeting will be recorded, however, and available for future reference on the Commission's website. And in addition, the Commissioners can receive comment via the email that's included in the notice. It's mpsc_commissioners@michigan.gov. And again, that email is also available in the Q&A feature on the live stream event on your computer and in the meeting notice. If you have intermittent internet service, which unfortunately some do in our great state of Michigan, you should consider listening to the meeting via telephone, not on the computer. So if there is an interruption, you can avoid missing part of the meeting while you call in. Another option is to watch the meeting through your internet service with the sound muted and then listen to the audio from your phone. And just please keep in mind the video feed has a slight delay while the telephone line is in real time. And we will have an opportunity for the public to make comment as provided in the agenda. A few notes about this: the comments should be limited to one per person and can be made verbally by calling in or writing via the live stream Q&A feature. And I'll give a little bit more instruction on that. If you're using the Teams application, you can go ahead and put your comments in the Q&A feature box at any time during our meeting, and we'll have those queued up to read. The Q&A feature can be used for requesting technical assistance and also to submit your public comments directed to the Commission. And if you would like to make verbal comments, you must call into the meeting by phone. We'll keep attendees muted just to minimize disruptions, and then open up the lines when we're ready to take public comment. So our first order of business is approval of the agenda for today's meeting, and I'll recognize Commissioner Scripps for a motion.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of today's Commission meeting agenda.
Commissioner Phillips?
I second the motion.
Any discussion? We'll have a roll call and the vote to approve the motion for today's agenda. Commissioner Scripps?
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote and the agenda is approved. Next up on our agenda is approval of the minutes from the May 8th, 2020 regular Commission meeting. And I'll recognize Commissioner Scripps.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of the minutes from the May 8, 2020 regular Commission meeting.
Commissioner Phillips?
Second.
And is there any discussion? We'll have a roll call on the motion to approve the meeting minutes. Commissioner Scripps?
Aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote and the Commission meeting minutes of May 8th, 2020 are approved. Next up, we have on the business agenda approval of orders on the consent agenda. Today, the Commission is assisted by Staff Attorney Caitlin Mucci. We'll recognize Ms. Mucci and also welcome her back from her leave. We're delighted to see you and have you participating today.
Hey, Caitlin, you're muted. You want to unmute?
Okay, good start. Good afternoon, Commissioners. It's good to be back and getting the hang of technology again. Today's consent agenda consists of 2 electric matters, 2 gas matters, and 1 steam matter. The proposed orders and minute actions for each of these matters have been thoroughly vetted by the Commission's technical and legal staff and are ready for your approval.
All right, I'll recognize Commissioner Scripps.
I move for the approval of the orders on today's consent agenda.
Commissioner Phillips.
Second.
Any discussion? We'll have a roll call vote. Commissioner Scripps.
Aye.
Phillips.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote, and the orders on the consent agenda are approved. And we'll turn it back over to Ms. Mucci.
Item 4A1 is case number U20732, which involves repromulgation of rules governing the obligations of providers of basic local exchange service that cease to provide the service. The order before you approves the schedule for a public hearing and the receipt of written comments on the proposed rules.
Commissioner Scripps.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20732.
And Commissioner Phillips.
Second.
Any discussion? We'll now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Scripps.
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote, and the order in case number U20732 is approved. We'll go back to Ms. Mucci.
Item 4B1 is case number U17377, which involves implementation of the provisions of Public Act 95 of 2013 and the Low Income Energy Assistance Fund. The order before you reminds utilities of the need to file required information no later than noon on July 1st, 2020.
Commissioner Scripps.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-17377.
Commissioner Phillips.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll have a roll call vote.
I actually do have a quick comment.
Sorry, Commissioner Phillips, go ahead, please.
No, thank you so much. I just would like to make the point that this draft order under case U-17377 is an important but standard procedural step that sets into motion the process for the MPSC to approve a funding factor that will support the Low Income Energy Assistance Fund, or LIHEAF. This fund provides up to $50 million in direct energy assistance and self-sufficiency services to eligible low-income customers every year. The consideration of this procedural order allows us the opportunity to once again notify customers and stakeholders that energy bill payment assistance dollars are still available for customers in need. The Commission continues to reiterate that residential utility and propane customers experiencing financial distress should act now and take the following proactive steps in seeking assistance. First, contact your utility for assistance and information on programs that can assist you in not only paying for your utility bills, but also lowering your energy usage. Second, please call 211 in order to be connected to local social service organizations that may assist you with your energy bills. And lastly, apply for state emergency relief or also apply for home heating credits through the Michigan Department of Treasury. We are just now beginning to see an uptick in customer requests for energy assistance, so we are encouraging customers to act now in order to avoid potential application processing delays that could occur later this year. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for your leadership working to improve the energy assistance programs that are available and making sure that these additional dollars can be delivered in a streamlined manner to Michiganders that are in need at this time. All right, with that, we'll go ahead with the vote. Commissioner Scripps.
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote, and the order in case number U17377 is approved. Back to Ms. Mucci.
Item 4B2 is case number U18238, which involves a matter on the Commission's own motion to revise the standard rate application filing forms and instructions as a result of the enactment of Public Act 341 of 2016. The order before you holds in abeyance the reconvening of a new collaborative as described in the Commission's July 31st, 2017 order in this docket until further notice or order of the Commission.
I'll recognize Commissioner Scripps.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-18238.
Commissioner Phillips.
Second.
Any discussion? We'll have a roll call vote on the motion. Commissioner Scripps.
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote and the order in case number U-18238 is approved. Back to Ms. Mucci.
Item 4B3 is case number U-20134, which involves an application filed by Consumers Energy Company for authority to increase its rates for the generation and distribution of electricity and for other relief. The order before you approves an amended settlement agreement resolving an issue concerning residential summer time of use rate. Except as specifically modified in the amended settlement agreement, the December 18th, 2018 settlement agreement remains unchanged and in full force and effect.
Recognize Commissioner Scripps for a motion.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20134.
Commissioner Phillips.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We'll have a roll call vote on the motion. Commissioner Scripps.
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote and the order in case number U-20134 is approved. I'll recognize Ms. Mucci.
Item 4B4 is case number U-20645, which involves the establishment on the Commission's own motion of My Power Grid. The order before you extends the dates for the filing of status reports due to the outbreak of COVID-19 and related responses to the pandemic.
I'll recognize Commissioner Scripps.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20645.
Commissioner Phillips.
Second.
Is there any discussion? We'll now have a roll call on the vote. Commissioner Scripps.
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote and the order in case number U-20645 is approved. And I'll recognize Ms. Mucci.
Item 4B5 is case number U-20668, which involves an application by Consumers Energy Company stating that if the company makes a 2019 year-end contribution to the Consumers Energy Foundation, consumers request Commission approval of a one-time voluntary refund equal to the contribution. The order before you approves the request to use the $500,000 voluntary refund to provide incremental spending for the leak repair and survey program and approves the proposed method for the voluntary gas refund.
Recognize Commissioner Scripps.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for approval of the order in case number U-20668.
Commissioner Phillips.
I second.
Any discussion? We'll now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Scripps.
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote and the order in case number U-20668 is approved. We'll turn it back over to Ms. Mucci for item 4B6.
Item 4B6 is case number U-20697, which involves an application by Consumers Energy Company for authority to increase its rates for the generation and distribution of electricity and for other relief. The order before you grants Mr. Forner's application for leave to appeal the March 31st, 2020 ruling by the Administrative Law Judge, but denies the relief requested in his application along with his request for a declaratory ruling without prejudice.
I'll recognize Commissioner Scripps.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20697.
Commissioner Phillips.
I second the motion.
Any discussion? We'll now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Scripps.
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote and the order in case number 20697 is approved. All right, back to Ms. Mucci.
Item 4B7 is case number U20747, which involves a matter on the Commission's own motion requesting comments on interim issues in the implementation of Section 6X of Public Act 341 of 2016, otherwise known as Michigan Code of Laws 460.6X, Shared Savings Mechanism.
I'll recognize Commissioner Scripps.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20747.
Commissioner Phillips.
Second.
Is there any discussion? We'll now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Scripps.
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote and the order in case number 20747 is approved. I'll recognize Ms. Mucci.
Item 4B8 is case number U20756, which involves an application by Indiana Michigan Power Company requesting ex parte approval to temporarily revise its distributed generation rider tariff sheets number D-105.00 and D-107.00. The order before you approves the application and grants the requested relief as set forth in the order.
We'll recognize Commissioner Scripps.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20756.
Commissioner Phillips.
I second the motion.
Any discussion? We'll have a roll call vote. Commissioner Scripps.
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote and the order in case number U20756 is approved. We've now reached the time reserved for members of the public to address the Commission. Again, if you'd like to make a comment and have access to the Teams live stream Q&A feature on your computer, please enter your name and your comment, which will then be read aloud to the Commissioners. This feature, it's available on your right-hand side of the control bar next to the mute button. And as a reminder, the Q&A feature is intended for public comments directed to the Commission and not to engage with other participants or respond to the comments or respond to their comments. After taking comments through this feature, we'll open up the phone line for those who called into the meeting and would like to address the Commission verbally. If you want to be queued up for verbal comments, please enter your name into the live stream Q&A feature and indicate that you wish to make a verbal comment, but don't include the written comment there as well to avoid duplication. And we'll first call on the names in the order received. After hearing from individuals listed in the Q&A, we'll ask if there's any comments from individuals who are on the phone line but not utilizing the online Q&A feature. And just a couple other reminders. If you're making verbal comments, you can only do that by calling into the meeting. When it's your turn to speak, please press *6 on your phone to unmute. Again, it's *6. And as a reminder, public comment is for commissioners to listen to comments and concerns and not answer specific questions. We also can take your input through our email at mpsc_commissioners@michigan.gov. And when providing comment, we ask you to provide your name and where you live, so we have that for our records. And please limit comments to one per person and keep them brief. So with that, we'll turn it over and just see if we have any comments in the Q&A feature.
At this time, there are no comments in the live event Q&A feature.
Okay. Just give it another 30 seconds. Still do not see any, so we'll go ahead and open the phone lines. Again, just a reminder to hit *6 and please indicate your name and where you live. All right, so that concludes the public comment period. Just Just a couple of announcements. As a result of recent temporary layoffs, staff hours at the commission have been reduced. The orders at today's meeting may not all be posted in the applicable dockets by the end of the day, which is our normal operating practice. We just ask for your patience and assure everyone that orders will be uploaded to e-dockets as soon as possible under the circumstances, and appreciate your patience. Couple other announcements. I know there was some excitement around Consumers Energy offering 100,000 Nest E thermostats to their customers. So if there's interest, go to their website. There's information out on social media about this opportunity for customers to save both energy and money, which is so important. And any other announcements? Commissioners?
None here.
Not for me.
Okay, all right. Well, that concludes today's meeting. Our next commission meeting is scheduled for June 10th, 2020 at 1:30 p.m. Is there a motion to adjourn? Commissioner Scripps?
Madam Chair, I move to adjourn today's meeting.
Commissioner Phillips?
I second the motion.
We'll do a roll call vote. Commissioner Scripps?
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
And I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you. And goodbye.